Hi everybody, this is your girl Jillian giving you another daily dose of OJ. She's not here with me right now. I'm working a third shift, so she's at home probably asleep, so I'm kind of bored, so why not do a few YouTube videos. Okay, so for this YouTube video, I want to specifically talk about an Oprah episode that I saw recently. She did one on bullying, and I did not know like how severe bullying was becoming in schools. I mean, I'm a secondary ed English education major at UTC, and we don't really, I don't know, in any of my classes, we never really addressed bullying. We more so focus on teaching methods, how to teach, also content knowledge, here, that, and the other, etc., etc. And watching this Oprah episode really made me think about how to handle bullying in the classroom. I don't know, I guess for those of you all that aren't really into Oprah, you haven't really watched it, Oprah had two mothers on her show. These two mothers recently had to deal with the deaths of their sons. Both their sons committed suicide because they were being bullied at school. One of the kids, his name was Walker-Hoover. He killed himself. He hung himself in his room. 10 days later, he killed himself. And it's really just really sad that both these boys were so young. They were both 11 years old. Too young to even consider doing such a thing, but also too young to be put in a position to even want to contemplate killing themselves, all because of a few kids that are insecure about their own selves that they have to pick on these other kids. I don't know if we, the type of people we have watching our YouTube videos, but if we do have any young people, especially people that are in middle school, people in high school, if you are dealing with bullying, you shouldn't ignore it. That's first things first. I mean, it's one thing to ignore people that say little things here and there, but they're not really up on you. But when you're dealing with people that are up on you all the time, you have got to handle it. When I was in middle school, I was picked on. I lived in Atlanta. I lived in Snellville, Georgia specifically. I lived in really upper middle class white suburbia. And the school I went to, it was a few black kids in that school. It was probably like 5 of us total. And I'm biracial, but I'm mostly black than I am white. And being in that school, it was just weird because black enough for the few black kids that were in the school anyway, and I wasn't white enough for the white kids that were in the school. So it was really hard. It was a constant struggle because I was overweight also, and a lot of the kids in my little school, they were in Abercrombie and Fitch, Aeropostale, American Eagle, all that stuff, and I couldn't fit those things. My mother shopped at Walmart, she shopped at Target, she shopped wherever she could find me clothes, and she picked out my clothes. I had no say-so over what I wore in middle school. And it was rough. So, I was talking to my mom about the whole bullying episode. We actually sat down and we watched it together. And I was talking to her and I was like, Mom, I never thought about killing myself. Like, how does this happen? And she said, word for word, she was like, Jillian, because I handled it. She was like, I handled it, and she was like, I'm not going to, put my tax dollars toward a school and pay for your education to have you being picked on by kids. She's like, I'm not having it. And really, I admire these two parents for even appearing on the Oprah show, for having that strength, considering that one lady, her son had killed himself like 2 weeks ago, and the other lady, she just buried her son like 4 days prior to appearing on the Oprah show. So props to them for having such strength. But it's rough. Kids are mean, kids are harsh, and parents have got to step in and fight for their kids and be advocates for their kids and be there for their kids, especially when you're talking about middle school. One of the trends that I noticed is that both parents comment about the fact that their boys were called gay and they were called faggot and in just derogatory words. And I don't know if they ever talked to their kids about tolerance. I'm not sure. They didn't really say so on Oprah. But parents have got to talk to their kids about tolerance. Regardless of whether your child is gay or not, no one has a right to pick on you because you were different. And kids that are calling kids mean things like that obviously are getting it from somewhere. Maybe they're getting it from their parents, but they're getting it from somewhere. And just parents have got to talk about tolerance with their kids. We live in the 21st century. We're not back, in the 1950s. That shit is not going to ride. You cannot be successful in life and criticize people for their sexuality, for their gender, for their race. You cannot do it. For their nationality. You cannot do that. But I don't discriminate, and I'm so blessed and so lucky to have a mother in my life that did not teach me to hate and did not teach me to criticize people and to judge people by how they looked or by the way they act. And people like that are so insecure. And so I want to encourage anybody, especially anybody that watches our video, if you're young, if you're in middle school, if you're in high school, you're dealing with people that rat on you, do not kill yourself. Do not, because one of the things that you will learn, especially when you get older, is that these people, there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. When people, I hate bullying. I don't like bullies, and I know as a teacher, I'm not going to tolerate that kind of stuff. As a future teacher, I'm not. If I choose to teach in the States, my goal is to teach English in Korea. That's my focus right now. But if I decide to teach her in the States, I am not going to put up with that. And teachers, even future teachers, we have got to stand up for our students. We cannot sit back and let students pick on other students and harass other students. We can't. That's how school shootings happen. That's how kids get murdered. That's how kids even think about committing suicide. It is ridiculous. 11 years old. 11 years old. These boys had their whole life ahead of them. And for them to even contemplate committing suicide because some stupid kids want to sit back and play jokes on them or call them gay. Like, what is up with that? And again, we've got to teach tolerance. It's really ridiculous. It is really ridiculous. This other parent was on her show, and he had a son named Ryan, and his son Ryan also killed himself. And one of the things that really, made me think is when that parent said that, he didn't blame the kids for his son's death. Because he said kids are kids, and he said that he believed that if they would have known that Ryan was going to kill himself, he really believes in his heart that they would not have even said those things to him. And I believe that too. We say things and we call people names, especially when you're young. You're not thinking. You really aren't thinking. But we have got to hold our kids. Like, I know when I have my kids, I'm going to hold them accountable, period. And you just have to teach your kids right from wrong. You have to teach your kids to have respect for other people and to treat other people with respect, because what goes around comes around, baby, and when it comes around, it is going to hit you like a ton of bricks. You treat people how you would want to be treated. So some might say sticks and stones may break my bones, words never hurt me. Well, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. When you, at some point you get at that age, like me, when I got in high school, I decided here and there I was not going to let anyone walk all over me. I was not going to, sit back and let some kids pick on me and not do something about it, because I knew that I can't keep running to mommy. Mommy is not going to be able to bail me out of every situation. While I'm a child, yes, your parents can help you, but as you get older, once you get into high school, once you get into college and stuff like that, when you're dealing with people that are just assholes, you just have to handle the business on your own responsibly. And, fortunately, my high school experience, I moved to Tennessee. I didn't have to deal with those things. I had a wonderful high school experience. I had plenty of friends. But yeah, that's about it. So bullying, I don't like it. Oshi and I definitely don't support that bullshit. And you all shouldn't either. So, definitely encourage people, young people, don't kill yourself. If you learn anything out of this video, just stay strong. Don't just ignore the people. Stand up for yourself, but also take use the proper precautions. Talk to your guidance counselors. If your guidance counselors don't do anything, talk to your principals. Talk to your parents. You've got to communicate. You have got to communicate, and parents need to be involved in their kids' life. Parents need to monitor the internet activity, because a lot of kids get picked on via the internet and via text messages and IMing, and parents have got to get with the technology. You've got to get with it. You've got to monitor your kids.